Good morning. Welcome to the live stream. I'm Jared Arnett, Executive Director of Shaping Our Appalachian Region, or SOAR, and we're so glad you can join us. We invite you to go ahead and share this link with your friends, get the message out. We want to share some good news with our friends across the region and country. It's a big day for Appalachia, Kentucky, and we're excited to be here talking about it with you today. We've got some guests here in the room with us, and we're going to talk to them in just a moment. But we're coming to you live from BitSource headquarters, and as we were talking about and thinking about where we wanted to do this from, BitSource has been a partner from the beginning, a significant partner, and leading in the effort of innovation and technology and entrepreneurship. And we were going to do it in some of their finished space. They've got several employees here working in the building. And we thought, you know, it would be neat to go into the space that's yet to be expanded into, where you can't see exactly what has happened, but you can imagine what's going to happen. And that is the image we want to portray about Eastern Kentucky, about Appalachia, Kentucky, is we're not here to talk about what we've done, but we're here to talk about the future and what is going to happen here. And that's what today is about. And so I'm going to let Rusty Justice, he's one of the co-founders, co-owner of BitSource, and we're going to let him just give you a welcome. This is his house, if you will, his home, and we appreciate them hosting us today. So Rusty Justice, co-founder of BitSource, give us a welcome. Talk a little bit about innovation and technology and how it's been critical to your business and how important the private sector is for the future of Appalachia, Kentucky.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to BitSource. On behalf of my partner, Lynn Parrish, and myself, we're really happy to have all the visitors here today and all those that are following us on the live stream. We welcome you. I'll tell you a little bit about BitSource. We're a software development company, and we touch on all forms of digital services here, from actual programming development to web apps, mobile apps, augmented realities and database management tools, all aspects, and right out to social media and even any kind of branding, all those services, video, we do all that here, anything content related or platform related. So, and we do it with an interesting group of folks, a bunch of guys and a few gals that came from the coal industry. And we started this little venture about 4 years ago, and so we've been working at it ever since. It's been an interesting journey, and we really it all leads back to SOAR for us. We like to think that we were the first SOAR-inspired company, and I remember, and I'm sure you guys do, about 4 or 5 years ago when SOAR had first started. Jared. I was on the workforce committee with Jeff, and Lynn was on the futures committee, and Jared invited us to Lexington, and we learned about software development and coding, and that there was a need for coding, a demand for it, and that had jobs that could be done here in the mountains, and we could work across the world and have earning potential equivalent to our mining jobs that we lost. And so, coming from the mining industry like Lynn and I did, that really resonated with us, and so we came back here, taking what we'd learned through these relationships that SOAR brought in front of us, put in our path, and we started BitSource. And so we work with our workforce development folks at EKCEP, who I believe leads the nation in workforce development efforts. Their motto is, "We work at the speed of business," and that's what they do. And if you call them at 10 o'clock at night with an idea, they'll talk to you about it. And so they're a great partner. And so anyway, here at BitSource and at SOAR, we're a partner in SOAR. And so we just encourage everyone in the region to really embrace this partnership, because SOAR is our most valuable asset, in my opinion. As a result of the attention that doing software development with coal miners has brought us, we've had the opportunity to travel to a lot of the rural areas in our region. We've been to Southwest Virginia and Southern West Virginia, Southern Ohio, Western Pennsylvania, Western Kentucky. And what we've seen is that here we have a huge advantage over where they are with their rural problems. All rural areas have similar problems. And I go to these meetings, I participate, and what I learn is they haven't even really, they're still discussing what are the problems. And whereas at SOAR we don't have all the answers, we have agreed on what the problems are. And I think that's a huge advantage because now our efforts go to how do we solve those problems. And so, which brings us to why we're here today. And we believe here that a private sector-led effort in innovation and entrepreneurism makes sense. And so we really compliment you folks at the cabinet for your thinking on that matter. Yep. And we've had great partners here. We've had great higher ed partners. We've had great partners in workforce. And so it's not that one person can do it alone. But we do think that if we're going to talk about entrepreneurship, that entrepreneurs need to lead that effort, and we need to find them what they need, the resources, and help them succeed. And really, that's what will move our region forward. So as we think about that, we just offer BitSource as proof of that concept. And it's what happens when you collaborate. And I'll give an example. OD Save came from a SOAR-led hackathon with MIT. And we obviously, one of our huge problems here is our opioid crisis. And so we came back from participating in this hackathon in Somerset and with an idea and a passion. And we've been developing now an overdose response app to get Narcan to first responders and to connect the requesters and responders in a very rapid manner. That project's completed and launched. We're rolling it out right now. We believe it'll save lives right here. And it's working on our problems locally. We think that's really important and powerful. And because no one understands us here in the mountains like us here in the mountains. That's just a fact. And so anyway, so that's an example of what we can achieve when we all work together. And we think BitSource is an example of what you get when you know, you combine entrepreneurs with resources and all the things they need to survive and thrive. And so if you take these folks here, these folks that started at zero, and now they are one of 30 Google agencies in the country. They have partnerships with MIT and Carnegie Mellon working on the future of work and digital literacy. And these folks are examples to how you approach disruption. And disruption's coming because machine learning, artificial intelligence, what we've learned is it's coming. The pace of change is only going to accelerate. And it's incumbent on all of us here together and those other people watching us that we work together and act proactively to address that. So I'll wind up there. I thank you guys. I'm really happy that you could be here and proud to be a part of this.
Thank you, Rusty. Thanks for hosting us. You know, it's an important day for SOAR. We are now approaching 5 years since the first summit in December of 2013, and there have been so many commitments made, you know, on that day and moving forward, and just organizations and individuals across the region taking ownership in the future of the region, and we've had success. And I think if we went back 5 years ago and we tried to imagine where we'd be in 5 years, and this is where we'd be, we'd all be pretty thankful for the progress that we've made. Today is important because when we did listening sessions at the beginning of SOAR, what we heard in every area of focus and work, whether we were talking about health or tourism or regional foods or small business development, we heard about the need for technology and connectivity. Out of that came our blueprint for a 21st century Appalachia, where we've got 7 goals. One of those goals, the first one is broadband connectivity, and the other 6 are about what are we going to do with it? How are we going to leverage connectivity for innovation and business and technology growth? Because as we look at the need in Eastern Kentucky and Appalachia, Kentucky, the reality is we need to put thousands and thousands and thousands of people to work. And we don't think we can do it without entrepreneurship, without innovation, without technology. Rusty said technology is disruptive. We say all the time, we believe technology can disrupt poverty. And this is the team. What we're announcing today is an award, and I'm going to let Jason talk about it. An award that enables us to build and add to this team that is driving innovation across Appalachia, Kentucky. And it's a big day. I'm going to let Jason talk about it a little bit. We have Jason Rainey, who's the Deputy Executive Director of the Office of Entrepreneurship for the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development and drives Kentucky innovation. I mean, that's Jason.
Longest title ever.
And I didn't even read a note.
Right, that was good, yeah.
So Jason, we're so thankful you're here. Another, really, before your role at the Cabinet, you've been a part of SOAR.
Right.
From the beginning and part of this region. And we're thankful for your support in this partnership. So, Jason.
Well, thank you, Jared. You know, having attended all the SOAR sessions these past 4 to 5 years, and even the one attempted to attend the one that got snowed out.
That was a fun day.
You know, it's been particularly rewarding for myself personally to really see what a difference the organization is making in Eastern Kentucky. You know, we really view the day today, this announcement, as a historic day in an opportunity in entrepreneurship and what the state of Kentucky is going to be providing to entrepreneurs and specifically to Eastern Kentucky. You know, the past nearly 20 years in Kentucky, we've had a very prescribed model out of Frankfort. And so every region was treated the same funding, the same sort of goals. Whether you were in Pikeville in East Kentucky, whether you were in Louisville, Northern Kentucky, Paducah, you had the same sort of goals. And so we took a very interesting and non-traditional approach to this back as we began these conversations back in the fall of last year, and then bringing into the spring of this year to do an RFP, Rise Response, which SOAR ultimately applied to. And the thought was, how do we get resources as close as possible to entrepreneurs? How do we do exactly what this pen says, remove the red tape, so that we can actually get even more resources to our entrepreneurs? And so having done quite a bit of an inventory on the network historically and how those services were delivered, we proceeded to vertically integrate, if you will, a lot of the programs, a lot of the funding for entrepreneurs and services to the Cabinet for Economic Development in Frankfort. And so I would just say really quick, you know, we couldn't be here today without the leadership of my counterpart in the Office of Entrepreneurship, Brian Mefford, and Cabinet Secretary Terry Gill, and Executive Officer Vivek, and the entire administration, because they've taken very much a bold leadership approach as we look at how do we reset all of these efforts for Kentucky, how do we get more resources to entrepreneurs ultimately, and leverage the regional resources. So in this RFP process, response to the RISE effort, we gave the opportunity for, in this case, Jared, SOAR, and the regional partners to say, what is the best way to move the needle in Eastern Kentucky? And here we sit today at BitSource, and I mean, this is the ultimate example of exactly the type of innovation, job creation activities, and really moving the needle that we are ultimately going for here in Kentucky. And so this is a shining example. This past SOAR session, the examples that you highlighted with Tim Robinson and his efforts, you know, there's so many examples in Harlan where the needle's being moved, you know, and we really feel like at the Cabinet there's an opportunity to get more resources to the entrepreneurs in our partnership with you. You know, historically, the entire state of Kentucky was funded in this entrepreneur space and technical assistance at $1.7 million. You know, we are funding a statewide effort for this round at $4.8 million. And the goal of that, in the basically collaboration of all the resources and organization, the thought is we're going to be able to move the needle at an even greater pace and get the resources to entrepreneurs even quicker. And so, you know, it's not a process where we're dictating from Frankfort, this is what needs to happen. It's a process where we went to the regions and we've said, okay, what do you think is the best way to serve Eastern Kentucky? And I'm most excited about the proposal that SOAR has put forth and how they're going to not only serve where we're at today, Pikeville, but the entire expanded region. And how we're going to see the resources and entrepreneurs, and ultimately the hope that Kentuckians are going to have through this effort. You know, we're going to make lives better, which is particularly rewarding to us. And so, that being said, you know, I just want to really quickly say congratulations to SOAR. We're so excited to make this award in partnership with you, and looking forward to working with all your partner organizations. You know, many of the things that you've proposed, it just wouldn't be possible without some of our community colleges and regional comprehensive universities. You know, I know Morehead State University, Eastern Kentucky University are strong partners, and both universities just have incredible leadership, and they're very important to everything that we're doing to move the needle and move the region forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All that.
All that.
We agree with. And so I'll say directly, you know, how's this impact SOAR? What does this look like? What we're talking about is not necessarily something new, but an expansion of what has already been happening across the region for the last 4 years.
And so historically, you've had 4 offices that are servicing basically the SOAR service region.
Right.
And, you know,
And now we have one director over those offices, but this is where it gets important. This is going to allow SOAR, the organization, to triple our staff. To triple our staff and put people, boots on the ground in communities. There's going to be 8 new offices opened across Appalachia, Kentucky. Those are proposed to be 4 within kind of the coal-impacted communities. We're going to be in Pikeville, Paintsville, Hazard, and Cumberland over in Harlan County. We're going to have some extension offices in Manchester and hopefully in Beattyville and the Natural Bridge area. Then we are looking at 4 staffed offices along the interstate, and that will be in Ashland, Morehead, Richmond, and London. So you're going to have a team, a network of people, boots on the ground, out in these communities driving projects. Whereas SOAR, to this date, we've been 3 to 4 people in our office, you know, that take a lot of the administrative work of keeping a movement like this happening. Now we're going to have people focused on projects. So that's what it means to us. What it means to the communities and the business owners is that you're going to have support. You know, we're going to call these people business and innovation champions. People that are going to come through your door, that we're looking to find who are the entrepreneurs, who are the existing businesses out there, how do we scale them up. Our proposal that we put together was really a combination of 2 things. It was essentially the working group report that was written 4 years ago that said, here's what we think needs to be done in Eastern Kentucky. This is putting the resources and staffing behind that. Yeah. It's not, we didn't come up with this idea, it's what the region said we needed 4 years ago, and this enables us to scale up on it. 2, it lines up directly with work we had going on for the last year in partnership with EKSEP and a lot of other partners around the idea of an Appalachian Technology Council. And so we've got Jeff Whitehead here with us from EKSEP, and he's already been referenced. He's been a key partner from the beginning, and I think that's important to understand that SOAR, this isn't just about SOAR the organization. If we're only an organization, we go away. We are a network of nearly 200 partners, of individuals and small businesses, nonprofits, state agencies, federal agencies that say we are going to own the future of our region together and work collectively toward a common vision. Jeff's been a part of that from the beginning. As I said, this isn't new work, but it enables us to put more resources and staff and double down on the things we've already been doing. I want Jeff to share a little perspective on what this means for you and the work that's already happening in the region.
I think you made a great choice. And we're so excited to be a part of SOAR and all that's happening. You know, I mean, several years ago, we realized that we couldn't do workforce like we've always done workforce and expect different results. And at the foundation level of that, it's all about partnering with business and industry in very relevant ways. And so this is really my happy place, BitSource. It's my, because it represents that kind of deep level engagement with entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial thinking, innovation, and as a workforce board, that's what we want to be a part of. That's what we want to partner with. We know that from a workforce board perspective, we don't have all the answers, but the answers to our region's biggest issues are with the innovative leaders that live here. And the more we can connect with them and be that group that just does our part, just does the enabling part of workforce development. So we're excited to work hand in hand with entrepreneurs across the region as they look towards whether that be world trade kinds of issues or needing to have specialized training for employees as they grow their business. We want to be at the table, and we want to be offering our support for all those kinds of things. You know, we know that technology and the rapid change of the world of work offers us here in Appalachia the opportunities for growth that we've never had before. You know, it brings a level playing field that's never existed. So we're excited about all the momentum that we have, you know, and what's happening. I mean, there's a bunch of really good things happening, and this is going to really add to that momentum, and I think we'll keep on rolling here. And you know, I mean, that's one of the things that we say at EKSEP is that Appalachia isn't a problem to be solved, it's a solution to be discovered. And we believe that there are companies from around the globe, certainly outside of this region, that are discovering just that. And so we're thrilled to be a part of it, we really are.
We're glad to have you as a part of it. And we want to leave you with just some final thoughts. If you are a business owner and you've got a business idea, a majority of this work is going to be focused on people who have existing businesses, who are out there. They're already working their business, but they've got this opportunity to expand, or they're selling products or services outside of the region through technology. We want to help you drive innovation. We want to help you grow. So if you've struggled to find a place to go to, and we've got so many great partners. We've got several of them here today we're going to bring up in a minute, but from Kentucky Highlands to SCED, to the small business development centers. There's financing, there's technical assistance, there's a lot of resources out there. But what we've struggled with as a region is have enough boots on the ground to get those resources to the businesses. So we're not necessarily going to deliver additional resources. We're going to be a point of contact that's going to help you through the process and ensure that you have an opportunity to grow. So after we get finished today, we're going to be launching a landing page on our website, there'sthefuture.org/innovation. There, if you're a business owner, we've got a form that's going to be live that you can go put in your information, email address, what county you're in, and give us some information on your business. And it's going to go into a database, and we bring these team members on over the next couple months. We hope to launch these offices in the first of 2019 and have most of them staffed and be ready to roll. So get us your information. We want to hear from you. We're also going to be putting a team together. So if you are an entrepreneur or you have a desire to be a part of a network of people that are doing this type of work, we've also going to have a link on that site where you can send your resume and information to an email address so we can start building and selecting. We want top talent, the top-notch people that want to be out there helping and supporting entrepreneurs. That's what this work is about. It's about the future of Appalachia. I think this is a great example of things that can happen.
You know, and I would say too, if you look at this opportunity and you hear about what we're doing in the region, and maybe you don't want to come in and say work in a full-time capacity as part of the effort, but you feel like you can add value to entrepreneurs, you can add value to the ecosystem, and you've got a particular skill set, you know, you can feel free to email me or email somebody on our team at the cabinet, and we'll find a place to get you engaged where you can where you can help. And the whole idea is entrepreneurial-led efforts, and it's not bureaucracy and government-led. And so that's what is so exciting about this being our first place to kick off, and here at BitSource, you know, for us from a statewide approach.
Yeah. And there's going to be several other awards across the state. So this is just the first that's been announced. And this is, and I got to speak to the SOAR executive board and the leadership that I've had in place, you know, for the last 3 years, Governor Bevan and Congressman Hal Rogers, their continual support and confidence and their effort to bring more resources to support, not bring their own plan, but the plan that we've developed through SOAR. Just continually they've invested in it and been a partner with people on the ground doing the work. It's just a dynamic change from what's happened over the last 50 to 60 years. Right. And I'm really excited about it. But our board, you know, well, they're putting some skin in the game on this project. They've done a great job of, for the last 4 years of maintaining reserves and resources for our organization so that we're able, when an opportunity like this comes along that requires a cash match, and we're putting, this isn't going to make sure the existing staff at SOAR continue. All this money is going to new work, and we're putting money into this new work. So I think that's just critically important. And our current chairman, she couldn't be here today, Kim McCann from Ashland, has been a top-notch supporter, and we're just thankful for their leadership. We're going to bring several of them up in a minute. But
Well, and I would say too, you know, as I've mentioned earlier, is we're vertically integrating many things that have always been outsourced to a third party for the entrepreneurship space in Kentucky. One of the areas that we're integrating, and they're here today, is Governor's School for Entrepreneurs, and it's incredible what they're doing to drive innovation among our high school students. You know, really appreciate you all being here today, and they're a very important part of us continuing to recognize statewide how important high school entrepreneurship is, how important our collegiate entrepreneurship is, as we've had business plan competitions and many activities around that these past years. So really want to make sure, appreciate you all being here.
That's great. So just real quick, I'm going to ask several of our partners to come up. We just want you to get a visual on the live stream of kind of who's in the room and what this kind of founding consortium is. So I'm just going to ask you guys to come up. Well, let's get University of Pikeville up here. They were a founding, they're a key partner in this work. Let's get the Office of Entrepreneurship. Come on up. We're just going to get you to stand behind here. You don't have to talk. We just want to look at you. So come on up. And Ashland Community Technical College, we've got Mick Fossen here, been a part of this work for a long time. Morehead State University, Dan Connell. We also got the Small Business Development Centers. You all come on up, a part of this. And we got KCTCS, Big Sandy Community Technical College, Hazard Community Technical College. And I don't know if we have anybody from EKU or Southeast Community Technical College, but they're part of this. We got Andrew Scott from our executive board. Come on up, Andrew. Appreciate you being here today. What we want you to know is this is just a small fragment of the organizations and the people that have put their self aside and said, you know what, we're all in this together, and we're going to partner in it. We have almost 200 partners in SOAR total that are working on behalf to create a future in Appalachia, Kentucky. The reality is, in economic development, 80% of new jobs come from existing businesses. That's the number. And we're gonna put a team and resources and effort to make sure we reach that number, that we create as many new jobs through our existing entrepreneurs and business owners as we can. And we're not just gonna do it alone. We're doing it through workforce programs. We're doing it, again, through the small business development centers, through the financing partners that we have. And you're gonna have a champion near your community that's gonna be there to guide you and support you. So again, remember the site, there'safuture.org/innovation. You'll be able to go there in the next 5 to 10 minutes. It'll be live. You'll be able to go there, submit your business. If you want to be a partner overall with SOAR, you'll see a link there for that as well, to say, hey, I just want to help. I don't want to work, I don't have a business, but here's what I can bring to bear. I want to be a part of the work that you're doing, you can do that there. But if you want to be a part of the team, you can also send us an email, get your resume in the mix as we start this process over the next couple months to fill these positions. I just believe 5 years from now, we're going to look back and say this was an important milestone for the future of Appalachia. And I'm thankful for the people that are behind us. They're also beside us and supporting. We're all in this together. And we just appreciate, this is a humbling, I'm humbled by this day, really, to think about the work that we've all put in and what it's culminated into. And for me, we're 5 years in, but a lot of it I see is just the beginning.
Yes.
And in a tremendous effort and a change of attitude for our region, for our people, for transformation. And that's what this is about. We couldn't do it without the cabinet and Jason and the whole team there, Brian Medford's support. We give from the SOAR team, we give our commitment to do our best to make an honest effort of this and support the future of the region. So thank you, we appreciate you. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out to our office or Jason, and we will respond. And just know it's an exciting day. This is some good news for Appalachia, and we're excited to be a part of it. Thank you, and check out there'safuture.org. That's where you'll find the information.